for now, the Swifty gas station on McKinley Avenue in Mishawaka appears to be closed.
It's true. Swifty gas stations are swiftly closing.
Yes, it's the end of an era in the tri-state. Swifty gas stations, the family-owned chain that still pumps gas like it's 1965, is shutting down.
How did we get here? A great leader can usher in the birth of a business empire, but also its death. Don W. Myers Sr., born on November 13th of 1920 in Seymour, Indiana, would go on to create a prominent gas chain station throughout Midwest America, only for it to fall years later. Myers' story picks up in 1938 when he graduated from Shields High School before attending Franklin College in Indiana. After his college years, from 1944 to 1946, he spent his time with the U.S. Army Infantry. It would be years later in 1963 when his business empire would rise with the purchase of 7 gas stations. And using his business intellect, Myers founded Swifty Oil Co., which at its height ran 181 gas stations and convenience marts in Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, Tennessee, and of course, Indiana. While running his multi-state company, Myers also took part in the Society of Independent Gasoline Marketers of America and the Indiana Gasoline Marketers Association. In 1972, he worked to expand his businesses, creating Swifty Farms, helping him to advance to become Indiana's largest thoroughbred racing and breeding farm. Continuing his business into the 2000s, Myers was awarded the Greater Seymour Chamber of Commerce 2007 Citizen of the Year Award, and in the following year, he was inducted into his high school's Hall of Fame. While Myers continued to grow his wealth throughout his years, he was no stranger to philanthropy, silently donating money to numerous charities. But after 92 years, Don Myers passed away in his home on July 25, 2013. While Myers' death greatly affected the people around him, his death created an unforeseen butterfly effect that would reach thousands. September 19, 2013, Convenience Store News reports at least 5 Swifty gas stations in Louisville, Kentucky closed without warning. January 9, 2014, the Herald Bulletin reports numerous closures with stations having their branding covered. April 10, 2014, the Progressive Grocer writes of multiple Swifty closures in Ohio. So what happened to Swifty? After the abrupt closings, people began asking questions. Multiple news sources, including the Herald Bulletin and Cincinnati.com, reached out for answers. Most of their calls went unanswered, except the Herald Bulletins, who managed to contact Swifty Oil Co., but were told, quote, "The company does not give statements to the press," unquote. While Swifty remained silent on the issue, that didn't stop people from theorizing. Cincinnati.com spoke to a local Swifty station manager who hypothesized that the closures could be due to the death of the company's founder. As for the fate of the company, the information on that is scarce and conflicting. WCPO 9 stated that the company was, quote,
Was bought out by Cocaine Oil,
unquote. On the other hand, the Herald Bulletin mentions, quote, the new owners, Ricker Oil Co., Incorporated, unquote. But our closest answer comes from WSLM Radio, who said, quote, since the family no longer wants to be part of the Swifty Oil Co. company, it is reported the owner passed away and the family is selling out, unquote. Our opinion is that after the death of Don Myers, his family decided they no longer wanted to be a part of Swifty Oil Co. It is most likely they pulled their stocks out of the company, causing the rampant closures of Swifty gas stations. Our original intention wasn't to explore an abandoned gas station, but after a somewhat disappointing lead, we found ourselves returning, and that's when out of the corner of our eyes, we saw the Swifty gas station. We're not 100% sure when it was closed, but we know when it was purchased and sold. Using the Whitley County GIS, we can see that it was bought by Swifty on July 9th of 1999 before being sold to Garcha Realty on September 21st, 2017, meaning the station most likely closed after the death of Myers, but before September 21st, 2017. The property was in decent condition, though the canopy, the structure covering the gas pumps, had some structural damage. The main building itself was completely boarded up, but the interior was never cleared out, with even the safe being left. Furthermore, for an unknown reason, 2 Marathon gas pumps sat on the property. What's interesting is there's a Marathon across the street, so perhaps they could have come from there. But why? I suppose what I love so much about this property is that it looks like everyone got up and left. The pumps still remain, the marketing is still up, the interior isn't gutted. The only difference is the Swifty branding. Removed, covered, forgotten. Swifty and attendant gas stations have begun to fade. Now this Swifty gas station, Larwell, Indiana, sits as a reminder of a recent past. One day, Swifty was at its peak. One day, it was forgotten, but its impact can still be seen in the lives it's affected. Thank you for watching, and good night.